Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. To introduce, my name is Abdul Rab. I am the Master of Ceremony for today's program. First of all, I apologize for being late because of the traffic jam, people reached late, so please accept our apologies for starting it late. So first of all, on behalf of the Southern Regional Committee, I would like to welcome you all on this seminar on the Companies Act 2017. We'll start the formal proceedings with the recitation of the Holy Quran. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad, wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. The objective of today's session is to apprise the members about the changes in the corporate laws that have been promulgated through the Companies Act 2017, and also to discuss the practical implications and the challenges in the implementation. To deliberate on the same, we have a learned panel of speakers. I'm sure you will find this session very useful. Without wasting further time, I would like to invite Mr. Nadeem Yusuf Adil, President ICAP, for his opening remarks. Please welcome Nadeem Yusuf.
Thank you, Abdul Rab. On a lighter note, thanks to the government nominees, I'm still the president. Mr. Masood Naqvi and Mr. Asad Shah will be joining us very shortly. Members of the council, SRC members, speakers, and members, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. It's a pleasure for me to welcome you all to this August gathering on behalf of the Institute. The promulgation of the Companies Act 2017 has been a historical moment for the corporate world of Pakistan. Revision of law is no simple task. For an all-encompassing and holistic approach, a proper strategy is needed involving all stakeholders. The project of revision was initiated by the SCCP in 2005 by establishing the Corporate Law Review Commission. In December 2015, the company's draft bill was issued to all stakeholders for the comments, and after a thorough consultation process spread nearly over a year, the draft law was debated in the Senate and Parliament before its approval. The Institute participated in the consultative process by forming 3 task forces comprising of council members and other eminent personalities who have extensive corporate laws knowledge and understanding. Accordingly, detailed comments and suggestions in related to audit and auditors, preparation of financial statements, and other corporate provisions were provided to the SCCP. Now, these were all published and provided to the members. Subsequently, series of meetings were held with senior SCCP officials, including the chairman, and discussions were held in the proposed draft. Based on various comments received and consultations carried out, SCCP issued further changes to the draft law. Such changes included matters relating to the audit right to ICAP and global register of beneficial ownership. The Institute again provided its comments in this regard and also made representations at the public hearing by the Senate Finance Committee. The Institute arranged seminars on the draft laws in all the 3 major cities along with the SCCP representatives to explain the new provisions. Now, after the promulgation, we have already done one seminar in Lahore, which was attended by more than 500 members. Today, I can see a huge number here, and very soon we'll be, inshallah, holding another seminar like this in Islamabad. The Companies Act 2017 has brought about many positive changes which will promote growth, transparency, better governance in Pakistan's corporate governance. The Act has simplified processes and has encouraged the use of technology. The new law has made many changes facilitating the shareholders and corporate sector, such as the one-pager memorandum of association, new provisions relating to disposal of cases by courts, concept of fresh election of directors, protection of independent and non-executive directors, holdings of general meetings, resolution of disputes through mediation, etc. Some of the most debated and contentious matters forming part of the Companies Act 2017 include related party transactions, arm's length basis of transactions, global register of beneficial ownerships, anti-money laundering, powers of the Commission, financial statement disclosures, etc. These are all part of today's program, and I'm confident that the presenter would explain these in detail. I'm expecting that through the questions and answers, members will be able to enhance their understanding of the new law, the new provisions, and also raise their concerns in relation to the practical issues in implementation of these new requirements. An interesting provision in the new law relates to the incorporation of enabling clause for the Code of Corporate Governance. Under this provision, SECP recently held the draft corporate governance regulations for comments. Now, various changes have been made, and Institute will be providing its comments on these changes very shortly. The primary role of the Institute includes dealing with matters relating to the audit and accounting. In order to facilitate members, the Institute has issued a guidance which we have called it MIS 29 that has provided details of the changes in the laws concerning the audit and auditors and the preparation of financial statements. A clause-by-clause comparison along with comments and explanation have also been provided. Surely these will be matters of discussion on various matters today in respective sessions. The Companies Act has also made us closer to the implementation of the new audit report for listed companies, which includes the incorporation of the key audit matters. Arslan, one of our speakers, will be speaking more on this topic. Over the past many years, the Institute has been advocating for the full adoption of IFRS. That, in view of certain provisions in the Companies Ordinance, was not implementable. Now the Companies Act, apart from removing many differences with IFRS, provided the option of unreserved statement of compliance of IFRS. Emil will be providing more details on this account. Now, the most favorite of all of us, related parties and the arm's length transaction. Now, this act has introduced the arm's length concept in the corporate laws that, to my understanding, other than India, is just a taxation issue. This is one topic where we expect significant challenges in proper implementation, and our audit accounting standards board chairman, Mr. Farooq, will be covering this topic. If there's one provision that stands out as the most debated one, is the global register of beneficial ownership. In view of the uniqueness of the requirements and interpretation issues involved, I expect there'll be a lot more discussions on this topic. Today, Zulfikar will be shedding some light on this topic. I'm grateful to Ms. Bushra Aslam, who has flown all the way from Islamabad to present the significant changes in the Companies Act. Members certainly would be benefiting from her presentation and rationale of these changes, and I'm sure she's expecting a lot of questions from this gathering here. I'm also thankful to all the other presenters who will be sharing their expertise on the topics. Mr. Asad Ali Shah and Mr. Masood Naqvi will be summarizing the two sessions that we'll be having today. Finally, Institute has been very proactive in its role in strengthening the regulatory framework in Pakistan through working in cooperation with important policy-making institutions and regulators, including the SACP, the State Bank, and the FBR. Change inevitably brings implementation challenges. I hope that today's technical session will help all the participants in better understanding of the corporate laws, bringing clarity and dispelling the misconceptions. It is going to be a long journey requiring conscientious efforts by all the stakeholders. We at ICAP have been proactive in creating awareness and providing guidance wherever possible in consultation with SCCP to make the implementation path easier. In the end, we all hope, wish, endeavor, and pray for the economic stability and prosperous Pakistan. Thank you all. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Nadeem. Now it's time for the presentation from Ms. Bushra Aslam of SCCP, and her presentation will be on significant changes in the Companies Act 2017 and highlights the company incorporation, registration, and regulations. So this presentation will be followed by a question and answer session also. So please welcome Ms. Bushra Aslam.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. The objective of my presentation is to give you a brief overview of significant changes in the Companies Act, as well as a few highlights of companies incorporation regulations and intermediaries registration regulations. Obviously, within this time frame, it is very difficult to account for all the changes in the company law. So from the regulator perspective, I'll just cover this rationale why Companies Act has been changed. These were the objective of revising the Companies Ordinance 1984. The first objective was to make sure ease of doing business for corporate sector in Pakistan. So there are a number of changes which cater for this aspect. Then there are few changes which primarily were aimed for better corporate governance, and there's one provision for CSR. The Act introduces new types of companies, and few changes have been made for strengthening of regulatory framework. So just to give you a brief of, this is not working. I'll not go into the detail of this slide because it just gives you a highlight of what changes have been made for ease of doing business. We'll go into detail of each one of this later on. If you can go on to the next. So this was primarily a list of changes which have been made just to make sure ease of doing business in Pakistan. You have to go on the next slide, please. जी अगली पे चले जाए, आगे चले जाइए. Incorporation, as Yusuf Saab has already, Nadeem Saab has already mentioned, that one of the major changes which have been incorporated in the company law is that incorporation of companies had made easier. I'll go into the exact details when we'll cover the incorporation regulations, but just to give you an idea, instead of filing different forms previously,